the blueprint is what I talk about. It's the framework I use to make things make sense, make them simple. And it's a diagnostic tool, even before it tells you what to do, but it's a diagnostic tool of what's going wrong in my relationship. It's got 3 elements. And the first is respond versus react. So this is that quality of a guy that he's very grounded. You know, you can see that, you can not see, you can feel that his nervous system is very settled. And so even with the difficult stimuli of life, he's not knocked off his center easily because he's very grounded. There's a quality of stillness to him. And that doesn't mean he's stoic or shut down or stony in any way, but there's a stillness in him from which he can choose how he wants to be moment for moment. And I think that's the other quality that you have in a man who's grounded, is he feels very choiceful. You know, as you experience him, it just seems like he's choosing exactly how he wants to be and who he wants to be moment to moment. So all of that is about being grounded and is the basis for respond versus react. And I'm just going to introduce each of the 3, and then we can maybe go into each one.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's the first element. The second element is provide structure. And so this is about masculine leadership, and it starts with having your own clarity. Like, you don't think you can't lead anybody else if you don't have your own inner clarity about what does your wisdom tell you that the moment calls for. It's not just what you want. You're actually folding in others' needs too, but you have an inner wisdom and sense of what the moment calls for. And then you express that inner clarity as outer direction and structure. And there's forward movement. You're the guy that galvanizes everybody to get to a decision. Even if you don't make the decision, you're making sure a decision gets made. And so you're bringing that clarity to the world in the form of direction and structure. So that's provide structure. And then there's create safety, which, you know, we're talking about physical, financial, and emotional safety. And I'll probably talk more about physical and financial in the sequel when I write that. But for now, I talk a lot about emotional safety. And so if you can create emotional safety in your woman by validating what's real for her, the feelings that are inside of her that are real, if you can build emotional connection with her, and there's very specific ways that I teach guys how to do that, that creates an emotional bond between the two of you. It's like a bumper for life, because, you know, a relationship's hard, and the more emotional connection you have, the more latitude and leeway you get for the little fuck ups along the way. So that's create safety. And so the 3 of those comprise the totality of the masculine blueprint.
I think something interesting to bring up, and thank you for going through that, because again, I'm like, it's so succinct. Something that I really struggled with, and I know, like, you know, a lot of what you do is helping men repair their relationship. But you don't necessarily say your relationship with whom or what, right? But for me, excuse me, I was reading your book and I was working so hard on, okay, stay grounded, stay centered, respond versus react, create structure, you know, provide safety. And yet in various relationships, I found myself just being easily triggered, and then I'm off center, right? And then I'm reacting, and I realized, honestly, just recently, I'd say 2-3 months ago, through a medicine journey, where I, for the first time, experienced safety for me. I've never actually felt safe within myself. So my relationship right now with my embodiment practice of breath work on a daily basis is actually just rewiring my nervous system so that I feel safe. So it's like, okay, I was so focused on trying to, you know, get the relationship with my woman to be smoother, and she was always like, you're not consistent. And I'm like, like, I'm human, but I also know that you need consistency. But I didn't realize until I had that amazing day doing medicine that I was like, oh my God, I've been taking my question of, it reminds me of Wild at Heart, like that, my question of, can I be safe? I was taking it to my woman to answer. And it's not a question for her to answer. I feel like it's got to come from me and my source, my own centeredness, right? And then from there, can I actually,
I love that,
respond versus react, you know, and build off of that. But I couldn't implement what you were saying. Yeah. Until I actually found that, which goes to your next book, The Art of Embodiment, of like, okay, this is why it's so freaking important, right? Yeah. Can you riff off of that? Is any of that resonant?
Oh yeah, it's what happened for me. The world didn't change. The world got a lot easier for me, but the world didn't change. I changed, and I did that by what you said, which is finding my own safety.
Yeah.
And she can say the same damn thing in the same circumstances as she did last week. But if I'm grounded in one instance and not grounded in another, it just occurs as differently. And as she occurs as more scary, and then I'm not as safe, and then I'm reacting and defending and explaining. It's all, yeah, you hit it on your head. Like, quit outsourcing your shit to other people, men, including you and me.
Right.
Everything gets easier when you're grounded, because here's what happens when you're when you're not grounded. It means you've got a lot of anxiety that's flowing in your system, or at least that's what's happening when you do that.
Totally.
And in anxiety, we clench against it because it's very uncomfortable. And then we compulsively jump in with our compensatory behaviors. And those compensatory behaviors are defending, explaining, blaming, shutting down, disconnecting, all those things. Because it's so uncomfortable, we have to make it stop. At all costs, it's got to stop.
Yep.
So we're like, but no, let me explain. You don't understand, and you're trying to get her to stop being upset. And there's no space for choice. There's no spaciousness for you to observe yourself, to witness how you're being. There's no space for you to kind of pull out and go from a bird's eye view to kind of see down and get a clear view of what's actually happening, rather than the movie that's playing in your head.
Yep.
But when we do the groundedness, what happens is we create more spaciousness. And within that spaciousness, we can witness ourselves, and we can choose how we want to be. And we can choose based on a more accurate experience of what's actually happening, rather than like the early warning system that goes off in our head and runs the drill and sets the alarm off. So we want to create that spaciousness in our life, and it starts with us.